Good evening. My name is Sophia Romer, and this is my comparative religion presentation. For my comparison grid, I selected four religions that represent a diverse spectrum of beliefs and practices: Islam, Buddhism, Confucianism, and Jehovah's Witness. Each of these traditions offers unique insights into humanity's quest for meaning, morality, and connection to the secret. In this presentation, I'll explore forms of worship across these religions, highlighting their similarities, differences, and cultural significance. From the meditative practices of Buddhism to the structured prayer of Islam, from Confucianism rituals emphasizing social harmony to the congregational focus of Jehovah's Witness. I examined how worship shapes the lives of adherents and reflects their worldview. By the end, I hope to provide a deeper understanding of these religions' approaches to worship and how they contribute to the spiritual diversity of our world. Thank you for joining me on this exploration and comparison. I decided that my presentation and accompanying art pieces should focus on the physical representations of worship, as these tangible elements are often serve as powerful symbols of devotion and spiritual practice. Through my research and writing, I found these representations to be particularly fascinating, and hence why I created them, as they reveal the diversity and creativity within each tradition, while also showing the shared human experiences in connecting with the sacred. For Islam, I created the Kaaba, which has a central focus of Muslim worship and pilgrimage. For Buddhism, I crafted a Buddha shrine, which reflects on the meditative and contemplative practices central to the faith. For Confucianism, I represented the Analects because I had already done a shrine and I didn't want them to be too similar, which the Analects, and this is based off of one of the actual Analects that I found online, however, don't look too close. When I was carving into it, it didn't turn out exact. The Analects are a collection of teachings that guide moral behavior and social harmony. And lastly, for Jehovah's Witness, I tried to craft a kingdom hall, however, I couldn't do it. So I created the watchtower, which is the symbol of their faith. Whoop. A symbol, and also a symbol of their commitment to spreading their teachings and hope for a future kingdom. These representations were created using air-dry clay, toothpicks, cardboard, paint, glue, and a few aluminum sheets inside of the cup. This was my first time working with air-dry clay, so it was not only a creative process, but also a fun learning experience, and each piece required careful thought and planning to capture the essence of the tradition it represented. I did try pretty much all week to create something that was the best I could come up with. Each piece, through this hands-on approach, I was able to connect more deeply with the material and appreciate the rich symbolism that these objects carry within their respective religious contexts. Daily and weekly worship practices are central to the spiritual lives of adherents, providing structure, community, and a means of connecting with their faith. In Islam, worship is anchored in Salat, the 5 daily prayers that are a pillar of the faith. These prayers are performed at specific times throughout the day, emphasizing devotion and discipline. Each prayer involves physical movements and recitations that express submission to Allah. In Buddhism, practices include daily meditation, chanting, or offerings made at shrines or temples. These rituals focus on cultivating mindfulness, wisdom, and detachment from worldly desires, contributing to a path toward enlightenment. In Confucianism, daily worship often involves ancestral veneration, such as maintaining shrines or performing rites to honor family members who have passed. These practices are deeply tied to the values of piety and social harmony. In Jehovah's Witness, they don't have a rigid daily rituals, but they do adhere or are encouraged to read and meditate on scripture daily. This personal engagement with their faith fosters deep connection to their beliefs. In weekly gatherings, Islam, the Jama'ah prayer, which is held on every Friday, is a congregational gathering that includes a sermon, communal worship, emphasizing the importance of unity among believers. In Buddhism, Upsatha days observes observed on the new and full moons and the eighth day after, are dedicated to spiritual reflection and renewal, often involving fasting and extended periods of meditation. In Confucianism, weekly rituals are less formalized but often tied to familial and social roles, with ceremonies or observances to reinforce harmony and ethical living. In Jehovah's Witnesses, weekly congregational meetings, typically held on weekends, focus on the Bible study and discussions aimed at strengthening faith and preparing members for evangelicalism. These practices are shaped by each religion's geography, history, and theology, reflecting their unique perspectives and priorities. In community-oriented worship, Islam and Jehovah's Witness emphasize collective rituals that foster a sense of belonging and shared purpose. And individual reflection, such as in Buddhism and Confucianism, prioritize personal growth, moral reflection, and harmony within oneself and society. Festivals and sacred spaces are elements that play a crucial role in each tradition, serving as focal points for communal celebration and spiritual renewal, while also embodying their theological and communal cultural identities. Through these practices, worship becomes a dynamic expression of faith, shaped by time, place, and purpose, while providing a framework for adherents to connect deeply with their spiritual beliefs. In conclusion, exploring the worship practices of Islam, Buddhism, and Confucianism, and Jehovah's Witness reveals a profound diversity and shared humanity in how people express their spirituality. Each tradition offers unique ways of connecting with the divine, pursuing enlightenment, honoring ancestors, or spreading their beliefs, shaped by their historical and cultural context. While Islam and Jehovah's Witness emphasize structural communal worship, Buddhism and Confucianism highlight a personal reflection and moral cultivation. Sacred spaces, rituals, and festivals act as vital symbols, grounding these practices in tangible forms that inspire devotion and provide a sense of community. This comparative analysis demonstrates that worship in all its forms serves as more than just a religious obligation. It is a bridge to purpose, identity, and community. By understanding these differences and commonalities, we can foster a deeper appreciation for a rich spiritual tapestry that connects us all. Thank you for taking this journey with me. I hope it inspires you to reflect on the ways worship influences our lives and brings meaning to the human experience. Thank you.